All right, so what we want to do here is we want to just start off with the basics of the development. And so we're going to open up Notepad, which most of you are going to have on your PC. And if you don't have Notepad, you can use really any kind of text editor. The basic thing we want to do is just have something like this, an open screen where we can type in text and then save it as any kind of file. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to, at the very beginning, we're going to create a HTML document, and the only way all we have to do that is we have to type in this start tag and this end tag, and the start tag is bracket HTML or whatever that is, a caret HTML, and then this is the end tag with that /, and then you save it, and all you have to do is you just save it and identify that it is a .html file. So hello world.html, and I'd saved one of these earlier, so that's why it's there. And so I click hello world.html, save it, something already there, I want to replace it, and right now there's nothing in there, so let's just put some text in there, hello world, and save it. And then what we can do is we can go into my list of files here, and we can, you see it indicates that it is a Chrome file. It's going to open with Chrome. So I'm going to just say open with Chrome. And then what you're going to see is hello world. All right, so now we've got our browser opening up our file, and any changes we make will be immediately reflected here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more element to the file, which is I'm going to indicate that it's a body, that this is the body of the file. And we're going to also create a little header area in case we want to put any code in here. The stuff in the header doesn't get shown, the stuff in the body gets shown, and you'll see what I mean by that in a second. But let's just change this, and I'm going to show you one little tag here, which is bold. This is B, and we're going to have the same convention, which is the start tag, end tag. Right, so right here is the start tag, right here's the end tag, and we always end with that /. But so now you can see how we can take information, and we can change the look and feel. So this is before I made the change, and then afterwards, it just changes it to bold. Okay, now what we're going to do is during our workshop, we're going to go over some things some style tags that will be able to make it change what it looks like, and we're going to come up with some script, which is going to be where we're going to be able to change what it can do. But you can actually I'm going to get rid of this. You can actually use some of the inherent HTML tags. There's one called H1, which stands for header 1, and what that does is it lets you use an existing HTML tag and change the look and feel, you see? So it's a little bit bigger. Now, there's like H1, H2, H3, H4, and all of them they kind of get progressively smaller. But one thing you can do is you can actually define the style of the tag yourself. So I'm going to say style and say color equals red. So what this is the attribute, and what this is the value. But I told the browser that I'm trying to change its style. So we'll do that. And you could just do Control S. I need to remember that. Right? So I just changed that by just changing the code. And I can do a bunch of things. I can make it background color blue, and I can do font size 45 pixels. I can do really whatever I want. And you see, so one of the things we're going to go over in the workshop is how you can create your own style tags, and you create what's called a style sheet. And so I'm going to create a style sheet here and say that I want everything on the web page that has H1, that is an H1. I want it to be, actually, let me change that a little bit. I want that to be background color of black, okay? So if I refresh this page, then I should expect to see no change. Oh, Mr. O'Leary, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, no, what this is it's called a cascading style sheet. So while we're defining the H1 black up here, if you go down and down and down like a cascading waterfall, the most recent of the style tags is going to trump the higher ones, or the ones that are higher up in the page. So what I need to do here is get rid of this. If I get rid of this, then whatever I said at the beginning will be the rule. Okay, so we'll go over that, but it's just a way for you to have complete control over what's going on the page. Last thing I'm going to show you, and we'll do this during the workshop, is there's a HTML tag called button, right? And it just makes it look like a button. And I'll just say, click this. Now, until I do anything, if I click it, nothing's going to happen. It's going to show up, but nothing's going to happen. What you can do with JavaScript, which is the third thing that we're going to talk about, HTML, CSS, which is cascading style sheets, and JavaScript, I can create a function here, inside the script, and I'm just going to call it my function for giggles. And I'm going to just say, when you do this, I want you to create a box that says, hello, Mr. O'Leary. All right. Now, that function exists, but it only is going to get called. It's only going to get activated if I associate it somehow with this button. So I'm going to create some code on this button that says, on click, run my function. Run my function. Right? So now, when I click on this, something happens on the page, and I can make it do whatever I want. I can have it when I click the buttons, images show up, and I can have it when I click the buttons, things move around, disappear, etc. I'll just put a little image here, image source, with banner. So this is an image of my wife's business, and it shows up. Let's see, do I remember it right? Yep, there it is. So I can make it where that shrinks or gets bigger or moves around. I can get it where if I click on this, it opens up a video. I can do anything. You'll see during our workshop, you can do whatever you want with any of these things. Pretty much knowing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that give you complete control. So these are things that we're going to do, and I'll show you one last thing. If you go onto a page and you click View Source, you'll be able to see the code of the page. Any page, anywhere, you can go on it and right-click and do View Source and really start to learn what the person is doing with the page to make it either look a certain way or do a certain thing. And we'll talk more about that at our workshop. So hope you enjoyed this, and we'll look forward to seeing you in person.